Part 1. Why we're afraid to speak. Hello, and welcome to Simple Talk English. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're talking about something that so many English learners struggle with, the fear of speaking English. Yes, that little voice in your head that says, what if I make a mistake? What if they laugh at me? What if I sound stupid? Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, let me tell you something. Even native speakers feel nervous sometimes. We all mess up. I once called my boss Mom during a Zoom call. And I've spoken English my whole life. Yes, it was awkward. Yes, people laughed. Yes, I survived. Let's get real. So why does speaking English feel so scary? Because speaking is personal. When you write, you have time to think. When you listen, you just listen. But when you speak, you're out there, live, exposed, vulnerable. It's like standing on a stage in your pajamas and hoping no one notices. And for many learners, there's this pressure to be perfect, fluent, confident, cool. But you know what? Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Let me say that again. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. A familiar story. Let me introduce you to someone. His name is Carlos. He's 32, lives in Brazil, and has been learning English for 3 years. Carlos is great at reading and listening. But when it comes to speaking, he freezes. His mouth gets dry. He knows the words in his head. But when it's time to speak, blank, silence. Or worse, a weird mix of Portuguese and panic. One day, Carlos got a message from an American client. They asked, "Can we have a quick call to discuss the project?" Carlos stared at the message for 10 minutes. He wanted to say no. He even started typing, "Sorry, I'm busy." But then he stopped. He thought, if I say no today, I'll say no again tomorrow, and next week, and forever. So he took a deep breath, grabbed his notebook, and wrote down 5 key sentences. Simple ones. Hello, this is Carlos. I'm happy to help. I need a moment to check that. Can I email you after this call? Thank you for your time. He clicked join call with sweaty hands. He stuttered, he repeated himself, he said, "Thank you very much" 3 times. But he survived. And the client? Super friendly. They even said, "Your English is great." Carlos felt 10 feet tall. Not because he was perfect, but because he was brave. Why fear feels so big? Now let's talk about the psychology of fear just a little. Fear of speaking is not just about English. It's about identity. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of being judged, fear of failing. And our brain loves to protect us from pain. So it says, just don't speak, stay safe. It's the same part of your brain that says, don't try salsa dancing, you'll fall. Or don't wear that hat, people will laugh. But guess what? That part of your brain is just trying to keep you comfortable. It's not trying to help you grow. To speak English well, you need to be a little uncomfortable again and again. And that's okay. In fact, that's where the magic happens. The magic of mistakes. Let's talk about mistakes, those scary, embarrassing, painful little monsters. Do you know how kids learn to speak? They say goed instead of went. They say, I catched a fish. And what do? We smile. We correct gently. We say, good try. But when we're adults, we expect ourselves to speak like a native professor on day 1. It doesn't work that way. So here's a big mindset shift. Mistakes aren't failures. Mistakes are signs that you're trying. Every mistake is proof that you're doing the work, that you're brave enough to speak. Each time you try, you get stronger. Each time you fail, you grow. It's like going to the gym. You don't lift the heaviest weight on day 1. You lift what you can and you get stronger every week. Speaking is no different. The talk to the plant technique. Let me give you a tip that actually works. It's called the talk to the plant technique. Yes, you heard me right. Find a plant or a cat or a lamp and talk to it out loud. Tell it about your day, what you had for breakfast, what you're doing tomorrow. Why? Because when you remove the fear of judgment, you relax. You stop worrying about grammar and start producing language. And guess what? Talking to plants is zero pressure. No one's going to correct you. And plants are great listeners. Do this for 5 minutes every day. You'll start to feel more comfortable forming sentences. And confidence grows when you use the language, not when you just study it. Part 2, laughter, lessons, and the power of little steps. Welcome back. If you're still listening, you're amazing. That means you're not just learning English, you're learning bravery. And that's the real language of success. In part 1, we talked about fear, mistakes, and even speaking to houseplants. Now it's time for more stories, more laughs, and more real tips you can actually use. Let me tell you about Fatima. Fatima is from Egypt. She's 27, super smart, and works in marketing. She knows a ton of English vocabulary. She reads marketing blogs, listens to TED Talks, watches English television shows. But speaking? That's where she froze. She told me once, I know what to say in my head, but when I open my mouth, my brain runs away. So what did Fatima do? She made a rule, 1 sentence a day. That's it, 1 real English sentence to 1 real person. At first, it was a simple hello to the hotel receptionist. Then, how much is this in a store? Then, excuse me, can you help me find this item? Some days she was nervous. Some days she made mistakes. One time she said, I am egg-cited instead of excited, and the guy laughed. So she laughed too. That 1 sentence turned into a full 2-minute chat. And 2 months later, she gave her first client presentation in English. Boom! Let's be honest, people don't care. One thing that stops many learners from speaking is this thought. They'll think I sound stupid. But here's the truth. Most people don't care. They're not English teachers. They're not listening for grammar. They're just people. Hungry people ordering coffee. Busy people at the airport. Tired people at the supermarket. If they understand you, they're happy. If they don't, they'll ask again. Most English speakers love when someone tries to speak their language. They admire the effort. They smile when you try. So let me ask you this. When someone tries to speak your language, do you judge them? Of course not. You feel proud. You try to help. It's the same when you speak English. People want to understand. Not correct. Humor helps. Let me give you a little secret weapon, humor. When you mess up, laugh. When you forget a word, smile and say, oops, my English battery is low today. People laugh with you, not at you. Humor breaks the tension. It turns a scary moment into a fun one. It shows you're confident even when you're not perfect. And if you want to get better at humor in English, try learning funny idioms. Like, break the ice to start a conversation in a friendly way. Cat got your tongue when someone is too shy to speak? Spill the beans to share a secret. Hit the books to study hard. Say one of those with a smile, and boom, conversation started. The 3-sentence habit. Here's one of my favorite practical tools. The 3-sentence habit. Every night before bed, take 5 minutes. Say out loud. As 1, one thing that happened today. 2, one thing you felt. 3, one thing you want to do tomorrow. For example, today I went to the park. I felt a little tired but happy. Tomorrow I want to try cooking something new. Simple, right? You don't need fancy grammar. Just 3 small thoughts. But do it every day and your brain starts to get comfortable speaking. You build muscle memory for English. Bonus, you can even write these down in a little English diary. Later, when you read them again, you'll smile and think, wow, I've grown so much. Repeat after me. Let's do something together. Right now. Yes, really. Repeat these sentences out loud. I don't need to be perfect. I need to be brave. Every mistake means I'm learning. I'm doing better than I think. Speaking English is a journey, and I'm walking it every day. I can do this. Say it like you mean it, even if you feel silly. Especially if you feel silly. Because confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build one sentence at a time. Part 3. Traps, comparisons, and changing the inner voice. Welcome back, my brave listener. You've made it to part 3, and I'm proud of you. Not just for listening, but for staying. That's already an act of learning. So far, we've talked about fear, mistakes, small habits, and humor. Now let's explore 3 common traps that often stop learners from speaking and how to escape them. Trap number 1, the I'll speak when I'm ready trap. Here's the idea. I just need a little more vocabulary, a little more grammar, then I'll start speaking. Sound familiar? Let me gently break it to you. That day never comes. Why? Because your brain is never 100% ready. It will always want more comfort, more practice, more control. Learning English is not like baking a cake. There's no perfect temperature, no final ding when you're done. You become ready by starting, not by waiting. So instead of, I'll speak when I'm ready, try this. Speaking makes me ready. Even one imperfect sentence is 100 times better than 100 perfect sentences you never say out loud. Trap number 2, the comparison game. Here's another dangerous voice. Look at her. Her English is so good. He sounds fluent already. I'll never get there. Ah, the beautiful pain of comparison. Let me remind you. You don't know their journey. You don't know how long they've been practicing. You don't know how many mistakes they've made to get there. You're comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. And guess what? They probably compare themselves to someone else too. Instead, compare yourself to your past self. 6 months ago, maybe you couldn't say, I went shopping yesterday. Now you can. That's real progress. You're winning. You just forgot to notice. Trap number 3, my accent is bad. Now, this one breaks my heart. So many learners feel ashamed of their accent. They say, I sound weird, or people will think I'm not smart. Let me tell you a secret. Your accent is beautiful. It tells a story. It's part of your identity. It means you've learned more than one language, and that's amazing. The goal is not to lose your accent. The goal is to be understood. Think about this. Would you respect someone less because of their French, Italian, or Japanese accent? Of course not. In fact, we often love accents. They make speech colorful, personal, human. So stop fighting your voice. Start using it. Changing the voice inside your head. Here's the most important part of today's episode. It's not about grammar, not about vocabulary. It's about the voice you use when you talk to yourself. Because fear of speaking starts in your head. If you say to yourself, I can't do this, I always mess up, I'm bad at English, your brain believes you and it gets scared. But if you start saying, this is hard, but I'm learning. I'll try, that's enough. Every word I say is one step forward. Your brain starts to relax, it opens up. It gives you space to grow. So here's an exercise. Next time you say something negative to yourself in English, pause and ask, would I say this to my best friend? If the answer is no, don't say it to yourself either. Be kind, be patient. Your brain is trying, you are trying. That's more than enough. Real confidence grows quietly. Here's something no one tells you. Real confidence doesn't feel loud. It doesn't feel like, yes, I am amazing. It feels like this. Okay, let's try. That's it. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act despite fear. So the next time you feel nervous to speak, don't wait to feel brave. Just say to yourself, okay, let's try. That's where the magic begins. Part 4, routines, real hacks, and not giving up. Welcome to part 4. You've made it so far, and that already makes you different from most people. You're showing up, you're listening, you're staying in the room when others might walk out. And that's exactly how English gets easier, not in big jumps, but in little, brave, daily moments. The power of repetition. Let me ask you something. Do you remember how you learned to say your name as a child? Probably not. But you said it hundreds of times before it became automatic. That's how your brain works. It learns best through repetition, hearing, saying, hearing again, trying again. So instead of learning 50 new words this week, what if you chose 5 useful sentences and practiced them every day? For example, can you please say that again? I didn't understand. Can you repeat it slowly? I'm learning English, so please be patient. Let me try to explain it another way. Thank you for helping me. Say those 5 sentences once in the morning, once at lunch, once before bed. In 2 weeks, they'll feel natural. Like brushing your teeth, like saying hello. Create a safe routine. Now let's talk about routines. Routines don't sound sexy, I know. But they are the quiet champions of confidence. Here's a simple daily speaking routine you can try. Morning, 2 minutes. Say 3 sentences about what you plan to do today. Afternoon, 3 minutes. Describe something you saw, did, or heard out loud to yourself or a pet. Evening, 2 minutes. Watch or listen to a short English clip and repeat 2 lines. That's 7 minutes total. But if you do it every day, you'll feel the shift in just a week. You don't need 2 hours. You need 10 minutes of consistency. Speaking hacks that actually work. Let me share a few speaking hacks that work surprisingly well. Here's one. Use your phone like a coach. Open your phone's voice recorder. Speak for 1 minute about anything, your lunch, your plans, your dog. Then play it back. Yes, it's awkward at first, but you'll hear your pacing, your clarity, and even your improvement over time. Try this once a week. Later, you'll be shocked by how far you've come. 2. Talk to yourself while doing chores. Washing dishes? Talk about your day. Folding laundry? Describe each item. Cooking? Narrate like you're on a cooking show. It may feel silly, but you're thinking in English. And that's gold. 3. Learn full phrases, not just words. Don't memorize door. Open, please. Memorize. Could you please open the door for me? It's like learning a song lyric easier, smoother, and way more useful. What to do on bad English days? Let's be real. Some days, your English will feel amazing. You'll speak smoothly, people will understand, you'll feel powerful. Other days, not so much. Words won't come. You'll freeze. You'll feel like you forgot everything. These are bad English days and they're normal. When that happens, do this. 1. Take a breath. Seriously. 1 slow breath. 2. Speak slower. You don't have to rush. 3. Use simple words. Don't try to impress, try to express. 4. Remember, even native speakers have bad days. You're not broken. You're human. A story from real life. I once met a student named June from South Korea. He was studying in Canada and afraid to speak. Every time the teacher asked a question, June looked down. Every time students chatted, June smiled, nodded, but stayed silent. Then one day, the teacher said, "June, tell us what you think." And June said 5 words. "I am afraid to speak." There was silence. Then the teacher smiled and said, "That's the most honest English I've heard all week." The class clapped, literally. And from that day, June spoke more slowly, simply, but bravely. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is the most honest one. Part 5, Staying Motivated and Speaking Anyway. Here we are, the final part of our journey. If you're still with me, I want you to take a moment and smile. Seriously, right now. You've just spent nearly 45 minutes listening to a podcast in English about speaking English. That's not easy. That's powerful. You are already doing the thing you were once afraid of. Now, let's finish strong. Why motivation comes and goes. Let's be honest, motivation is not a forever thing. One day, you're full of energy, learning 20 new words and practicing grammar. The next day, you're tired, busy, or just not in the mood. That's normal. Motivation is like the weather, it changes. So don't rely only on motivation. Build systems and habits that carry you when motivation disappears. For example, set a 10-minute timer, just 10 minutes of English per day, no matter what. Use a don't break the chain calendar mark every day you practice English. Reward yourself after each week chocolate, movie, or just saying, "I did it." Your brain loves progress. Show it that progress is happening even when it's small. Speak badly, but speak. Repeat after me. Speaking badly is better than not speaking at all. Seriously. You can't improve something you don't practice. And practice means yes, saying the wrong thing sometimes. Forgetting a word. Using the wrong tense. Pausing too long. All of that is part of the process. Do you think babies wait until they can speak perfect sentences before trying? Of course not. They try, they babble, they fail. And we cheer them on. So be like a baby. Not in diapers, please, just in bravery. The letter to your future self. Here's a special exercise. Take a deep breath. Now imagine it's 6 months from now. You've been listening, practicing, trying to speak more English. What would your future self say to you today? Let me help. "Hey, I just wanted to say thank you." You didn't give up, even when it was awkward or scary. You kept trying. Now I can order coffee without fear. I spoke to a tourist last week and they smiled. I even joined a little online group to chat in English. All because you were brave when it counted. I'm proud of you. Sounds good, right? Write your own version. Put it somewhere you'll see it. You're not just learning English. You're building a future version of yourself more confident, more open, more global. What this podcast was really about. This podcast wasn't about grammar rules. It wasn't about vocabulary lists. It was about you, your fears, your dreams, your quiet wish to be understood and not be afraid of your own voice. So if you take one thing with you, let it be this. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Say it wrong, say it slowly, say it anyway. Because your voice matters. Yes, even in English. Final words. If you enjoyed this podcast, share it with someone else learning English. Let them know, hey, you're not alone. And if you want to hear more, check out our channel, Simple Talk English, where we learn English, one friendly story at a time. Until next time, be kind to your English and to yourself. You're doing better than you think. The end or the beginning